Nepal is a small landlocked country with China to the north and India to the west, south, and east. Nepal is famous for being the home to 8 of the 10 tallest mountains in the world, including Mount Everest. It's nearly the same size and shape as the state of Tennessee, with a population of nearly 30 million people. Its capital city, Kathmandu, was made famous by the Bob Seger song and is nearly on the same parallel as Miami, making the weather pleasant all year long. I first visited Nepal as a Peace Corps volunteer back in the 1980s. I lived and worked with the Taru people of Dang for 2 years before returning to the USA to finish my studies and begin a traditional American life. I got a wife, children, a business, attended church, etc. During the years after I returned to the U.S., I kept in contact with my village and the people, who then became my family. Then, nearly 15 years later, I returned to Nepal to see my village and reconnect with those people. Former middle school students had now become community leaders. Community leaders had become old men, making room for the next generation of ideas. I discovered firsthand that many of the ideas that I had helped introduce had become commonplace. Nearly all houses in our village had bathrooms now. When I was there, none of them did. Many young men were traveling to the Middle East for work, sending home money to their families. Many of the families that used to live in mud huts now had multi-story homes with local bricks and metal roofs. Yet there were still issues. Education remained dysfunctional, as schools lacked electricity, technology, running water, and couldn't deliver knowledge needed for the next generation of students to compete in a global economy. We all thought that changing education would yield the biggest bang for our efforts, with nearly half of all Nepali people under the age of 19 right now. In agreement with 2 Nepali men and 2 U.S. citizens, I founded the Nepal Project. The Nepal Project is a nonprofit charity that focuses on education and construction in the Dang Valley of southern Nepal. We set as a goal to help build U.S. quality facilities and opportunity for Nepali students in the Dang Valley. Nepal gets less visits from Americans than most countries. Few people speak Nepali outside of Nepal, and English is not as common in Nepal as it is in other countries. Travel from the USA takes nearly 2 calendar days. The transportation within the country is based on walking through most of the middle hills in Himalaya, with scattered paved roads and dirt highways in the lower portion of the country that borders India. The Dang Valley is nearly 400 kilometers due west of the capital Kathmandu, and there are no tourist attractions in Dang. On a typical visit to Nepal, I might see 3 other non-Asians in Dang over a 2-week period. Monsoon rains limit access to many parts of the country during a 4-month stretch each year. In October through December, though, after the monsoons have passed, the Himalaya are visible from most of the country, and their glory goes beyond words. The Nepali people are quick to open their homes and share a cup of tea or a meal with you while listening to stories of life on the other side of the world. The Nepal Project has already completed some great projects using only grassroots funding. With assistance from Liberty University, we sent Navraj Adhikari to study in Lynchburg, Virginia for a semester. Nav returned to Nepal and became a leader in a local school. We also raised money to put solar panels on 2 schools, as well as computer labs in their classrooms. We paid for teachers at 1 school to be trained in Montessori methods.